I'm going to discuss with you why this tier system is absolute rubbish. So last week there was a Freedom of Information Act which came out, which basically showed how the government potentially is going to invite applicants. And it's basically how the government decides the occupation ceiling for occupations being invited for the 189. I've seen so many migration agents come out and say, wow, this is going to change everything. That's a lie. It's not. It's old news. The government has been doing this for decades. So basically the government has said that all occupations on the medium to long term list, so all the occupations which can be invited for the 189 visa, are separated into 4 tiers. The first tier, which is the most in demand, which they've identified as medical specialists, researchers, nurses, etc. Then you've got tier 2, which has other occupations like teachers, social workers, psychologists, etc. You've got tier 3, which has a really big number of occupations, for example, trades and other occupations needed to the economy. And then you've got tier 4, which has occupations, chefs, accountants, that sort of stuff. And essentially what immigration have said is that they're going to give a larger percentage of quota to the occupations in tier 1, then tier 2, then tier 3, then tier 4. The issue is that when you add up the quota for every single occupation, it would equal hundreds and hundreds of thousands of available places. And there's only 16,900 places available to be invited. So even though, yes, the quota is there and it says there can be up to this many invitations, there would be hundreds of thousands of invites. They cannot do that. So what you see is ultimately immigration is still going to pick exactly the type of occupation that they want. So for example, we have had around 100 invitations for carpenters this financial year, which is in the tier 3 occupation. We have also got a speech pathologist with 70 points not be invited, and many housing trades invited with 65 points. So this occupation, which is identified as being the most in demand with available quota, is still not being invited because the government is choosing to invite whatever occupation is the most beneficial to it. Before 2021, the government displayed the occupation ceiling. Now, for whatever reason, it's a bit of a secret. So this is a document which shows all the occupation ceilings for the 2020-2021, which could be invited. And if you added up all of those quota, it would far exceed the number of quota available to be invited for the visa. And this is exactly the same of what it is. The government is just gonna pick whatever occupation it wants to invite. Being in an occupation in tier 1 is obviously better than being in an occupation in tier 4, but it doesn't really impact your chance of being invited because immigration is gonna choose whatever occupation it wants to invite. At the moment, immigration are inviting housing trades. So even though it's a tier 3 occupation, it's been invited above many more tier 1 occupations. The only reason immigration can do it is because the government tells it to do it. I just wanted to give a little bit of clarity in it. There is a little bit of truth in the tier system. You'd rather be in tier 1 than be in tier 4. If the government wants to invite your occupation, you can still be invited. So I just wanted to give that because we had a lot of clients call up, hey, I'm in tier 3, hey, I'm in tier 2, doesn't matter. The government can invite whatever occupation they want to invite. And we see this translate with who is actually getting invitations. I hope you found this information helpful. Please note, if you are not receiving an invitation for the 189, strongly consider the 190 or 491. There's about 4 times as many invitations issued for these visas. And obviously, if you do have any migration questions, feel free to contact Pathway to Oz.